Ah!
B-grade, punk rock, street trash, Wastelands. And here are your hosts, long-time partners in slime, Adam Obscene and Mark.
Hello world, this is Wastelands and I am Adam Obscene, and with me, as always, is the mighty Diddy Scrubby, Marco Mark.
Hey, hello, Adam. Hey, listeners. I am really glad to be with you tonight. Did I scrub? Ooh, I'll only tell TLC.
Only tell TLC.
Man,
Mate, we've got the No Scrub Challenge. We decided to revisit a little cracker of a monstrosity in its sequel. I'll play the trailer and then we'll come back and talk about it, shall I?
Sure.
Oh, come on. Where'd you get it?
Now, do it. Try.
Now do it. Try, Marco. Try to do it. Karate Warrior 2, or The Boy with the Golden Komodo 2, or as we know, poor man's Italian Karate Kid. This time in America. I challenged you, Marco, to do it with no scrubbing. How'd you go?
Oh, I fucked up.
He could not do it.
I should have. I didn't take any of the messages of, strength and self-discipline and willpower that were peppered throughout this monumentous movie, Adam. I disregarded all of that. I really wanted to start scrubbing about 5 seconds in.
So Master Chimera's inner strength of working for channeling the dragon totally fell on deaf ears.
Mate. Deaf ears. My ears were deaf. Cloth ears. Yes. I was really. I got into bed. Actually, I was like, I'm going to chill out, and I'll get up my notebook, and I'm going to sit down. And I'm going to watch this bad boy all the way through, and I was so ready to scrub. I mean, I scrub through movies that I want to watch, But to do the no scrub challenge on a movie, like, it got me off on the wrong foot, mate. It's
tough.
It's a tough going. It's a tough slog.
Let's fill the listeners in on the vitals, and then we'll dive in. So, this is the 1988 follow-up to the 1987 Karate Warrior. We did that a couple of episodes ago. And whereas the first one was Anthony Scott, the unlikable Ralph Macchio Italian version, is in the Philippines learning karate. This is him in Florida, back in America. And I got to say, it probably feels a little bit more like Karate Kid than the first one.
Yes.
But what I also can say is that he is no more likable as a main character.
No.
And look, it runs the standard line. After studying the Philippines and defeating his opponent Quino, who was the local thug in the village, Anthony Scott heads back to the US to attend college and makes new friends. While he's also promises, for some reason, his Master Chimera, that he won't fight outside of sanctioned bouts because he's so powerful. So basically, like these movies go, he runs afoul of a local gang called the Tigers, led by the bully Dick. Dick constantly attempts to fight Anthony. Anthony refuses. He has Anthony finds a limp-wristed mate called Luke. We'll go into that a little bit later. Obviously, Anthony picks up Dick's girlfriend Petty. Then they got a fight, and then it just runs the same course as Karate Kid, except for some local thug of the Tigers comes to finish him off, and it doesn't really work.
And there's probably they probably had to change the fancy dress for Halloween costume from the shower to something else.
So look, that's basically the run of it. It's kid in a foreign area to a kid in a new town comes across the bullies and then refuses to fight, but then fights in a sanctioned karate battle in their gym with weird mascots. So, Marco, give me a bit of a like in your scrubbing. How much you probably picked up enough, right?
I picked up enough. It was really close to the original Karate Kid. It did have that element to it. One thing I noticed, like I got a fair way into it, but I didn't enjoy it, man. And I thought that was hilarious at the time. I was like, I can't wait to podcast about another movie I don't like, with the juxtaposition of you liking it so much and being so impassioned by its flaws. I fucking love that. But one thing I noticed, ads from straight away was the boy lives on a houseboat, and like the sum of his life is training on the front of the boat and then taking phone calls from his girlfriend, who it sounds like the relationship's not going too well, to then being summoned to his grandparents' place for his birthday party. That's right. So, and in the meantime, him riding his bike from the marina where he lives to his grandparents' house is when he comes across the Tiger Gang, and he falls afoul of Dick, and
That's after
Dick,
his grandparents gave him a surprise BMW.
oh, that's right. He got to the grandparents' place, and
he
almost
that apparently he knew about.
Yeah, he got run off the road, or he ran some jocks in a sports car off the road.
Yeah.
What I noticed was he's gone from this like, you could do better, man, existence on a houseboat, to turning up to his grandparents' place, which is like behind this gated compound that looks like a massive old school like Hollywood mansion. And he rides his bike through the forest like gardens and pulls it up and goes up the stairs to this grandiose mansion. It could be something in like rural England, and to be surprised by his family and a surprise party. And I'm thinking, a bike ride away, he's living in this bullshit boat with a nagging girlfriend on the phone all the time. Like, can't he just go living in this mansion? What's going on? Anyway, that was my first question.
And look, and that's all literally in the first 10 minutes. And let's just unstitch that for a little bit, because I think the first 10 minutes totally throws the example of exactly what is wrong with this movie. So let's start off. It starts off with a 2.5-minute montage of him punching a punching bag on a waterway on his houseboat / yacht.
Yep.
He runs inside, and instead of having a shower, mops himself down with a tea towel.
Yeah. But then, Adam, did you notice this? He mopped himself down with like a checkered green and white tea towel, right? Chucks it on the bed, and then picks up a button-up shirt to put on, which is another blue or green and white checkered shirt. It looked like he just made everything out of the same
blue
material.
And white checkered material. Then he has like a 4-minute conversation with a girlfriend that is clearly not going very well, and he's just an absolute jerk. Like, the dubbing in it is hilarious because he sounds like a 67-year-old old man in a teenager's body. But what jumped into my mind right then is talking about continuity. He left the Philippines and the love of his life and talked about come visit and all that. Apparently now he's moved on and he's got another girlfriend, but it's been enough time gone in less than probably 12 months.
Yep.
That he's been treating this other girlfriend rubbish, and he's talking to her on a cordless phone. Then he jumps on his 10-speed, and like within a short bicycle ride, like he said, turns up to his grandparents' mansion.
Yeah.
For a surprise party that he knew about.
Yeah.
And how funny, though, is the surprise party? It's all full of, like, 70-year-old, 80-year-old people and one obvious niece holding a cake, and he rocks in the door and they go, surprise? It was like they didn't even know if it was a surprise.
Yeah. It was so wooden. The acting was so wooden.
And then they give him the car, and instead of even
Yeah,
hanging.
he
So
did-
he doesn't even eat he doesn't even eat any cake, doesn't even engage in any festivities. They give him a
No.
car and he goes, "Oh fuck it, can I go for a drive?" And they say, "Yep," and he drives off, and that's
As
it.
long as you're careful.
It's like, and so he doesn't listen to them and gets automatically into a altercation with the local bullies in there called the Tigers in this car with a janky airbrushed tiger on the front of it.
Oh yeah.
Overtakes them on double lines, mind you, not safe, and
Hey.
then gets run off the road by them into a creek where he gets saved by a dude in one of those like, what are those like those hovercraft
Yeah,
things
yeah.
in the swamplands
With big fire. Yeah. Help us out, American friends.
with the hovercraft things.
Hovercraft thing,
Yeah.
boat
With some
with a
sort of
massive
hillbilly that
fan
says,
on
I'll
the
fish
on
it
the
out,
back.
I'll fish it out for you, and then he meets his mate. His mate picks him up at a truck stop, and the most cringe-worthy part of this whole movie comes up. There's many of them, but this is the first one where this new kid says, "I'll give you a lift, but only if you'll be my friend," which I found really weird. But what's interesting is a bit of a throwback Easter egg to a previous Wastelands radio show is that he has a reference to The Hitcher, and he goes, "No, I don't know if I should pick you up. Haven't you seen the movie The Hitcher?"
Oh, hey, continuity.
I know.
Love that.
So anyway, that's basically he gets in the fight with who gets in the wrong side of the bullies. He actually, the funny thing is he's how in the first one he was so sure of himself and so up himself
Mhm.
that, and he was so sure that he was right and takes no blame for any of his actions. He goes and confronts these bullies in the local Ben and Jerry's ice cream shop and demands a check to pay for the fixing of his car.
Oh yes, that's right. Well, he did run them off the road, and it fully sank into the swamp.
Yeah. So he's taking
I don't know.
he
I
takes
don't
no
know.
responsibility from it, demands a check,
Oh, still, yeah.
and it's just like dumb. Anyway, like
That is dumb.
it's and the whole time not any of the side commentary makes a lick of sense. What I did find enjoyable about this, and like you said, the thing I enjoy about this is the Foley, so the bad sound effects that are out of sync with what's happening on the screen. When the car crashes into the water, it crashes in the water first, and then the splash happens like about a second and a half later. So that's pretty funny.
I love that. I love when the syncing is off. Like when someone gets punched and then you hear it. It's great.
Every fight scene in this movie, the Foley is off. It's like there's every punch that lands, there's a delay in the sound effect, which is great. The mismatch of the dubbing of the sound of the characters, like there's like in the thugs, in the bullies, they've all got these stereotypical American accents, like they're from every state in America. Like they've got the Southern dude, and the Bronx dude, and the Jersey dude, and the Californian dude, and they're all like, so they're all sort of picking up a stereotype, and even the girlfriend Patty has a Southern Belles accent, like "Well, hi, stranger." So you've got all these things, and it brings me to the point that I brought up in the last time we spoke about this series, is that this is not a love letter to America.
No.
This is an
No.
Italian version of their belief of what the stereotypes of American culture actually is. And it run, if you, and
At
this
that
is,
time.
At that time, and this is what I love about this movie is it's looking at American culture through an Italian film director's eyes is where I find the joy in this film. Listeners, don't get me wrong. This movie is pants. It is a big steaming pile of crap. It's hard to watch.
It's so bad.
But if you can stitch together some of those bits, it's fun. And so what I'm going to do right now is here's a couple of things which I find fun.
Okay.
The dubbing is fun. The scripting is fun. When old mate meets Luke, his new best friend, and this is to your point, the Italians think that there's two types of American, clearly. The American that lives on a houseboat and the Americans that live in mansions.
Yeah, for sure.
So Luke lives in a mansion. Of course he does, because his grandparents live in a mansion, but he lives in a houseboat. So he goes just at this guy he met in a car park. He goes and moves in with his new best mate, and he goes, "Oh, sorry, Mum, I've only got champagne and caviar."
Oh
eat.
yeah.
And he's like, and then the line that Anthony comes back is, "Don't you have any burgers, hot dogs, rib food?"
Rib
What
food?
is rib food, dude?
Oh, I don't know.
But this is the juxtaposition: is this Italian director has basically gone, you know what? There's two types of people in America: houseboat livers and mansion livers, and there's two types of food: caviar and champagne, and
Yep.
burgers, hot dogs, and rib food. So. Good on you, Fabrizio de Angles. You've absolutely nailed America in one foul swoop.
This is like the 80s version of Google Translate in a movie.
Yeah.
They've gone Italian English, and what does it say? All sorts of weird shit.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and the other thing is that I've totally found joy in is that any movie that's going to have a protagonist, a bad villain named
Yeah.
Dick, is always going to be joyful in
Oh.
every time they mention
Yeah,
it
yeah.
on screen.
Yeah.
So-
It's like have a drink for every time that you get a
Here-
dick joke.
because it is literally so many unintentional dick jokes. Because I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure, in translation, they've gone Dick. Yeah, good hard American name. Yeah, absolutely hard American name.
Of course,
because-
that's a rock hard name. Dick's rock hard.
And so there's this one line, and it literally made me snort out my nose when I was watching it, Marco, which was
Yeah.
Anthony's set with the conundrum that he can only fight because he's promised Master Camerity to fight in sanctioned bouts, and he won't just fight him in a street brawl.
Okay.
And so then he has this line when he's talking to Luke, and he says, "I've just got to figure out a way to get Dick in a ring." Outstanding.
Oh,
Um,
did he work it out?
Yeah. Well, funny he didn't, because then the first bout that they had was on these gym mats on a stage in the auditorium in the
Oh.
school, so he didn't get Dick in a ring at all. He
He
on
got
some
Dick in an
mats.
auditorium.
He had Dick in an auditorium.
Ooh.
So I think the name Dick was misplaced because Anthony Scott is the Dick. He is a massive.
He's
a massive
misplaced
dick.
my dick.
The other thing too is there's a line in it where it's like, you can't, the Tigers, and it's Luke talking about Tigers. He goes, "You can't go up against Dick. He's Dick."
Excellent.
So yeah.
Ow.
The other thing I found really funny about this, and this is the sort of the weird continuity in the storytelling, is that so this is the toughest gang of all, called the Tigers, driving around this black car with a tiger airbrushed on it, terrorizing the town. So clearly they should be the bane of everybody's existence. They hang out in a soda shop, and eat ice cream with a funky jukebox. But when it comes to the sanctioned battles, the kung fu matches, the whole town is rooting for Dick. They're totally off Anthony. So I don't know if there's a vice-like grip that they've actually manipulated the town to Stockholm syndrome, that these bullies that terrorize the whole town, these towns can only see these bullies. Because if it was a bully, wouldn't you just want him to have his ass wiped on the floor with the newcomer?
Yeah.
But it was totally flipped on the other side. It was like the town was rooting for Dick.
Yeah.
And I just love saying that. I'm going to keep on saying it, dude. It's
Rooting for Dick.
This episode,
So-
listeners, your community announcement is every time I say Dick, take a drink.
Take a drink. You call us later. Yeah, right. So he's hometown Dick, and everybody wanted some.
Yeah, everyone wanted hometown Dick, and nobody wanted Anthony Scott. And look, I can understand, because he was totally unlikable. Funnily, they got it. And also the other weird thing is, clearly just for a college judo kung fu bout, they got the local radio station down to do a live cross, because that happens.
Oh yeah, that happens.
So listeners, what happens then is that goes down, and they have a bout, and Anthony wipes the floor with Dick. Then what Dick does is he goes back to find out the recently released from prison world kung fu champion, who happened to be the founder of the Tigers, and pays him $5,000 to come and beat up Anthony. And
I'd do it for $5,000.
Yeah, I'd do it for free.
So what's this guy's name?
Can't remember.
Hung. Hung.
Hung.
Hung.
Well
Hung.
hung.
Well, Hung, nice to meet you.
So he comes in and basically, I think he comes back. He comes into town to challenge Anthony to a kung fu match. In the meantime, beats up Luke, and Luke's in hospital being pampered by nurses. But what happens is then, for timing, Anthony knows that this guy is brutal, knows that he probably can't beat him, so he writes a letter to Master Kimura saying, "This may be the last time you hear from me." Master Kimura, as the worst ever Mr. Miyagi ripoff, jumps on a plane and comes to Florida to retrain Anthony. And all he basically does is sprouts a whole heap of philosophy and neck chops him a few times in 24 hours to build him back up to like the fighting warrior he was at the end of number 1.
Oh, man.
So, but the funny thing then is, again, brings in this Italian perception of America, because it is they downtown Florida jump out of the airplane, and the first thing is while they're in a cab, is this is like streets lined full of hookers going, "Hey boy, want a party time?" and Master Kimura turns around and says, "So this is America, huh?"
Oh, so they're trying to get a bit of definitely trying to squeeze a political statement into it there.
And I don't know if it's intentional or it's just the way that they thought that America
what they thought.
Yeah,
it's
full of houseboat livers, mansions, you eat caviar or rib food, and the streets are lined with hookers. It's the gland of the free.
The gland of the free.
Yes. So anyway, like
the gland of the free, we'll name him Dick.
Sorry. Stop it. So anyway, like
what?
Master Kimura trains him up. I gleamed over a bit that Dick thought he couldn't beat Anthony in the first bout, so he basically got the guy that wiped him down to try and drug him with putting like, what's that knockout sniff shit that you have when you put it in
chlorophyll, chloroform.
Yes. So the gym owner was trying to impede Anthony by sponging him down with chlorophyll.
Chloroform. I think it's chloroform.
Yeah. So anyway, skip back to the fight. Anthony and the thug have the big fight, and Anthony wins. The end.
Yay.
The end.
The end. Does he get the girl? Does anything happen? What about the girl on the phone? Does she make an appearance?
No, he drops her like a cold fish, and then picks up Patty, the Dick's ex.
Oh, right.
And then some big Incredible Hulk-looking dude wants to challenge Anthony to a World Series battle, and I got to mention too, in the final battle there was 2 chicken mascots, a horse and a cow mascot for some reason. And
that's awesome.
Scene.
Scene. So instead of a body count, we can have a mascot count.
Yeah, so the mascot count is 5 for 128 meters. Listeners,
what a corker.
Don't do this. Don't do this to yourselves. I find a hilarious pleasure in this, and then if you are of the 2 types of people in the world, being the houseboat liver or the mansion liver, or the scrubber or the not scrubber. If you're a scrubber, don't watch this. If you are a scrubber, go for it. It was so badly received, it didn't even get an American release, dude.
Ouch.
But it was good enough on the Italian market that they made 4 more sequels.
I would love for people to get in touch with us, especially you, Adam, who really did enjoy this movie and really would really like to banter with you about this, because I just think that would be great, like bringing people together over these movies that are like there's us side of the houseboat that can't watch it. And there's the other side of the houseboat that can watch it. And I would love to see this podcast almost turned into a celebration and a bringing together of you guys, the watchers, the able tos. I think that would be great.
I'm also a fan of, to be totally inclusive, want to hear from people who tried to watch it. And the scrubbers. I want to hear from the scrubbers and hear from how they think we're absolutely mad for liking it.
Man,
but
I owe a MySpace a MySpace DM to TLC now, letting them know that I've let the team down, and will they still want me back for choreography practice tomorrow morning?
Mate, it's okay. They'll always make space for you. Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Hey, I know that guy.
Yeah.
Jason Waterfalls.
Jason Waterfalls. So, listeners, if you want to get in touch with us, you can catch us on all the socials at Wastelands Radio Show. Just DM us on those. On Twitter, it's Wastelands RS. You can go to wastelands.com.au, direct to the source to listen to this and read the liner notes. And you can email us at wastelandsradioshow@gmail.com. But yeah, look, it's fun. Like, the reason we do this is so you don't have to, or give you the insight into the world of that you would never known of. This is a pretty interesting one. It has a 3.9 rating on IMDb. There's only one fan review, which is it absolutely shit cans it, and I think there's only like 4 critic reviews. So it is by and large, there's not much online about it. So, but you can watch it in its entirety. Actually, you can watch all 6 Karate Warriors in their entirety on YouTube. So,
on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to find. I mean, we've said this a couple of times, Adam. Like, if we had sat together and watched this movie, we would have probably rolled around on the ground laughing and had a really, good time with it. And
I also would have had a ruler that would have been slapping your hand every time that you tried to scrub.
Tried to scrub, yeah. Trying to fast forward, trying to FFW. Yeah, so if you guys are out there and you're like, well, I'm ready to chance it with my flatmates, do it. Because it's so goofy. There's safety in numbers. You'll be able to have a good time with a few people. It's one of those movies,
I actually think that nearly 95% of our movies are actually those movies.
Yeah,
it's like the irony is that doing it remotely, as we have done for the last 3 years, short of Christmas breaks, has been quite hilarious because it's created this conversation about the watchers and the scrubbers, and I think that's going to be an interesting thing to keep going. We've got watchers, scrubbers, and listeners. It's hilarious.
Love it.
So, mate, just one final note before we sign out. Yesterday was our favourite Oily Walnut's birthday, Arnie Schwarzenegger. So I just want to send out some big ups to Arnie and happy 75th birthday. What the fuck?
Whoa! Happy birthday, Arnie.
Look a day over 70.
Wow. May your biceps continue to ripple.
They ripple. All right, mate. We've almost gone half an hour.
Oh no!
But anyway, listeners, thanks for listening. And Mark, is there anything more you'd like to add?
It's good night from me.
And it's good night from home.
Skynet's taken over.
It's over. It's finished.